What is going on, guys? My name is Mitch, and today we're going to be checking out the Eagle from HAOQI. If you guys would like to see the full list of specs, you can head on over to electrifiedreviews.com and check out our in-depth written review of the HAOQI Eagle. HAOQI offers a competitive 2-year all-inclusive warranty, which you can check out on their website. They also offer a 3-year battery replacement, which is pretty dope considering the average lifespan of most lithium batteries seems to be around the 2-year mark. HAOQI does have a handful of dealers in the US. You can find those with their dealer locator, and if you don't live near one, like me, how was the assembly process? Well, it was pretty straightforward, nothing too crazy. They included all the things you need to assemble together, so it was off to a strong start. Now, we've reviewed a ton of similarly spec'd, similarly priced e-bikes in the past, so I had my expectations set on what I thought was going to be another fat tire e-bike riding experience. And first off, the geometry here was solid. I liked the rake angle, the large, mostly flat handlebars, and where the saddle was located. I feel like this thing is ready for a pretty wide array of riders. Now, HAOQI claims the rider range is between 5'5" and 6'8", and while I see this being usable in that range, I personally wouldn't recommend it to a person who is under 5'7", unless they had extensive bike riding experience. For the 6'8" folks, again, I think it would be doable, but if I was over 6'4", I would probably expect to install an adjustable stem to get those handlebars in a better riding position. The suspension fork makes a huge difference, even with the already pretty cozy ride feel from the 26x4" tires. The suspension fork offers around 80 millimeters of travel with lockout adjustment, and this is what elevates the bike from a middle-of-the-road ride feel to an above-average ride feel, considering it's not a full suspension bike. The fairly wide, comfortable-ish saddle fit me well, and I don't have any complaints about it. Saddles are always something that would be super easy to upgrade, so it's hard to harp on brands providing standard saddles on e-bikes these days. The Eagle comes with a hefty rear rack, which really opens up the possibilities for what you could use this platform for. Pannier bags? Throw them on. Rear basket? Attach it. It also comes with an integrated rear light, so no need to worry about extra batteries just to keep this vital safety feature. It could easily be turned into a fat tire commuter since it includes everything we look for: integrated light system, racks, and fenders. Now, the front light is decently bright, but I would recommend getting an additional light if you can mount something up higher on the handlebars, preferably with a few more hundred lumens if you'll be doing some extensive night riding. The fenders worked great. They're a thicker plastic fender, which is my personal favorite. They're lighter, and they don't get rusty from the eventual scratch rocks and such things will inflict over time. Another feature that is sometimes overlooked with commuter e-bikes is the ability to remove the battery and charge it in your place of work, which you can do with the Eagle. Now, most people won't use this bike for commuting primarily, but it's nice to know that it has the chops to pull it off if needed. Being seen is pretty much the biggest thing to consider when riding an e-bike, especially if you're dealing with traffic or plan on doing some riding in the evening and into the night. The Eagle has integrated front lights and rear lights, as we mentioned, so it's off to a good start. The front light could be brighter, as we mentioned, and the rear light is decently bright as well. Now, we don't see any of the extra features we'd like to see, such as turn signals, sidewall reflective stripes, or a horn, but for a basic e-bike, and especially at this price point, there are still some solid efforts in the safety department here. It does include a small bell, but this shouldn't be your only form of communication with other people out there in the real world. Another safety factor is power and speed. If you can't accelerate out of a sticky situation, you just might get caught in it. It's sticky after all. And this is one area that the Eagle could use some modification. The throttle speed is dictated by the current level of pedal assist. Now, for some people, this is a feature they want. However, from a safety perspective, I would want access to the whole gambit of power available in any level of pedal assist. Now, let's play through a scenario. If you're making a turn, you see some distracted driver also making that turn, and you can't stop but need to accelerate quickly to get away, well, the throttle makes it difficult to go any faster than you currently are. And that's when it goes from a fun ride to the store to a less fun ride to the hospital. Now, of course, you can keep yourself out of that situation by having some good awareness, but there are going to be some instances where you'd want to have more power at your fingertips. Now, let's talk about a scenario where you need to stop quickly instead of accelerating. Well, we'd be relying on the brakes, and luckily the brakes here worked really well. They are hydraulic Gemma disc brakes, clamping onto 180mm rotors, and we've reviewed a few Gemma brakes in the past, and I haven't had any issues with them in our testing. They seem to be reliable, powerful brakes, and those are qualities we'd want in a brake, so no issues here whatsoever. Now, let's talk about power and performance, and I'll preface this with a personal note. I like to go fast. I remember the days when 20 miles per hour used to do it for me, but it rarely gets the blood pumping these days. And that's my caveat to the next statement. The Eagle isn't incredibly fast. It goes 20 miles per hour out of the box and really isn't all that torquey. Now, there are some of you reading this that are shouting with joy because you may have just found the relaxed fat tire ride you've been looking for, and there's some of you that want more wind in your hair, which I understand. That being said, this is a well-tuned e-bike. It doesn't jump off the line, but for those riders that are looking for a slower power curve and a more controllable acceleration, this is a pretty dope option. HAOQI is aiming this bike for those that want the option to go up to a reasonable speed and can handle some reasonable terrain, and I think they pulled it off here. Overall, I think the Eagle is a great addition to the HAOQI lineup and fat tire e-bike space in general. I see a large audience for this type of bike, and with the increased popularity of these stable, fat tire e-bikes, I think the Eagle is going to be a bike you'll be seeing more of in the future. Now, personally, there are a few things I'd love to see implemented in future iterations of the bike, such as locking grips, an upgraded display, and a brighter front light. The grips and front light are things that are going to be pretty easy to upgrade aftermarket, but it'd be awesome to see them come stock on Eagles in the future. All right, guys, we are out here on the ride test. Let's go ahead and just rip the throttle here and let's get go. The throttle doesn't work, guys, because it's in pedal assist level 0. Just a safety feature I always like to point out. So if you have it in 0, the throttle's not going to work. You don't have to worry about, somebody hopping on the bike, maybe trying to on for size, and then, well, what does this do? And then, well, you know how that goes. So, put in pedal assist level 1, and then we have access to the throttle here. Now, one of the other things to note is that our top speed is going to be dictated by whatever level of pedal assist we're in. So now we're going to go to 2. Gets up to about 12 miles an hour. 3. Going to take us to 14.2, pretty consistent. 4, 16, and then finally, pedal assist level 5 is going to take us the rest of the way, all the way up to 20 miles per hour. Pretty much on the dot. So that is something just to note. So if you have it in a lower level of pedal assist, you don't have access to the full power of the throttle all the time. Personally, that's something that I would prefer to see, or at least have the option in the advanced menu. I don't know if that's the case here. We haven't divin's not a word. We haven't dove in there to adjusting these settings. We want to test it out stock and see what you can expect if you purchase one of these bikes. And the weather's looking gnarly over there, tell you what. Like, why was the ride test so quick? It's like, well, because he had to get back to stay alive. Go ahead and do a brake test over here in a second. Yeah, the Gemma brakes are doing pretty fantastical. Now, we've seen these on a couple of different bikes. I don't know if these particular models or so, but we've seen Gemmas popping up. Gemmas and Logans seem to be pretty popular these days, and I see why. They work pretty well. I haven't had any issues with them. Long-term wise, I'm not sure exactly what people would be looking for there, but oh man, it's a whole bike gang. Dude, these are my people. All right, gotta keep the little ones safe, guys. I mean, look at that though. Do you see that? It's getting gnarly. Anyway, so right now it is in class 2, meaning that our top speed is only be 20 miles per hour either way. And this is a bike that definitely could handle a lot more. You've got a nice big sturdy frame, very wide handlebars up here, so I feel like I've got a lot of control. It's very stable. Take my hands off and look at that, we're cruising. We're cruising. I hadn't actually tried riding it no hands yet, so I was like, oh, let's just test it on the downhill with, a nice little pop at the bottom. That's a good test. Anywho, we're out here doing the Running Man. Run away from the storm. But yeah, as you can tell, it is a very stable, very balanced platform. The 4-inch tires up front, doing a really good job as far as giving you that extra bit of stability, but it still has actually a lot of maneuverability. The head tube angle here is not too slack, but it feels like it's just, I don't know if it's the handlebars are at the right point or it's just slack enough to give you a little bit of something. Well, let's take it off road. Let's shift down here a little bit. Now I'm 90% certain that the trails are close, so we're not gonna go that far, but just a little off-road excursion here, and that's about it. Otherwise, we might be pissing off some very powerful trail building people, you know? That's not what we're about here. Ooh, some flowers. All right, we're gonna go ahead and probably turn around, because again, it is probably going to start dumping on us here in the next little bit. But guys, this is, yeah, it's a very stable bike. I think that's the biggest takeaway. If I had to say one thing about it, it is stable. You know, it feels like it's got enough power here. It's not overly powerful, and I don't feel like it's underpowered. It feels like it's tuned to be a very approachable, very like, you know, I haven't ridden a bike in a while, but I want something that can, you know, do a little bit of trail work here and there. This is that bike here. Let's go ahead and, oh yeah, I forgot there's a drop off there. Testing the brakes down here. Easy. Easy. Oh, and very good popping back up here. That is sweet. So we don't have any, you know, amazing hills to test it out on, but you know, that was a pretty good incline, and it didn't stop for a second. So that is nice to see. And again, very maneuverable, even though, as you saw, we were riding no-handed there. It is a very stable platform. Oh, right here. Look at me, I'm riding no-handed again. Look at me, ma. Now, as far as the motor noise goes, it's on par with, you know, all the other motors that we test. Nothing too crazy, nothing excessively loud. It's not whisper quiet either. You know, you definitely can hear this, and you know it's an e-bike. Grip-wise, the grips here, they don't have a locking mechanism, or I guess they don't have a traditional outside locking mechanism. There are, I guess, pivots, or that's not the word I'm looking for, on the inside of here. So you throw in your Allen key on the sides and you can tighten these up. So you do have a bit of that, but you don't have the traditional mechanisms that we normally see here. And you know, we've got the half twist throttle, so it's twisty. It's half twisty. Oh, I think I lost one of the reflectors, maybe? No? I don't know what that was. All right, gang, and as the storm swiftly approaches, we're gonna head back as quick as we can, which is 20 miles per hour right now. And I wanted to thank you guys for hanging out with us. We got more reviews coming, more giveaways, more fun value adds for the community, and looking forward to being on this journey with you guys. All right, so this is the part of the review that I like to call the I left the bike outside for a couple minutes and it started to rain. And by a couple minutes, I mean, I think 25 minutes. So yeah, so this is the rain test. Does the HAOQI live up to the rain test? We'll go ahead and see if we can power it on here. Oh, would you look at that? Would you look at that? Let's see, give her a little tip and a rip here. Oh yeah. So if you guys are questioning, like, man, can I leave this bike out in the rain for 25 minutes and will it still work? The correct answer is yes. There you go. We do these tests, folks, so you don't have to. All right, but if if it happens, know that your bike's gonna be okay. Thanks for stopping by and checking out what we do around here. If you've had some experience with HAOQI or the Eagle specifically, we'd love to hear about your experience in the comments below. We appreciate your continued support and engagement in this growing community, and we'll catch you on the next one.